Let's run a simple exercise with HardOps, Boxcutter, Mesh Machine, and Machine Tools. Working with add-ons is important. So let's apply scale and grab this edge here. And I'm going to Control B that. And then we're gonna have to clean this because we're gonna have double edge here. So I'm gonna 3 with Machine Tools to clean it. And I'm going to mirror this with Mesh Machine to the other side. I think this is a little bit too steep, so SY and just, we can't do this. Let's grab this one, SY, and scale this maybe a little bit here. And then let's see if we can run a bevel here like this. It's gonna be still too steep. Okay, let's move it deeper. So closer here. And let's try now. Maybe this will do. Let's go with 8 segments. Mirror to the other side and how we're looking. Just run a bevel. Yeah, I think this will do. I might make it a little bit longer. So let's go to side view and you know, Alt Z, select these and move them somewhere here and then mirror to the other side. It's going to be a little bit longer. Cool. So now what I want to do is I want to grab this face here in the bottom and extrude it down a little bit. We're going to clean this with HardOps. So this edge here is going to disappear. We don't need it. And I think we're going to be good to go. And then we're going to cut it from the top. So I want to cut it in a way that we're going to have 2 clips on both sides. So we could cut this with an end gun. So let's go to Boxcutter and grab an end gun. And we're going to cut this here. Go all the way down here. Create a cutout here. And a little bit shallower on this side. And then I'm going to simply slice it with X. And I'm going to mirror this to the other side and mirror this one, right? Okay, first on this side, then we can mirror to the other side. So let's work on this first, right? So let's actually, I think we can apply this. Yeah, that's fine. And now what we need to do is we need to make sure it's going to work. So first of all, this one, which is this bit here, we need, let's apply it. And we need these 2 to be rounded. So Control B, right? And we can run 10 segments. There we go. And we could actually run a chamfer on this one. Now, in order to run a chamfer here, let's just mirror to the other side, combine these 2 with an edge. So J, you need to give it a guide for the chamfer to run like this, okay? And then we can clean it up with the HardOps. You're gonna get this kind of a angle here, and we can mirror this to both sides, and we can also mirror this one across, right? So, whoops, here, there we go. I'm not sure about this this ending here. Maybe I'm gonna do something different here, like this, and or maybe even like this, right? I think it's gonna be a bit better. Yeah, that's gonna be better. Let me see, where is this cutter falling at? Let me just recover this and move it a little bit deeper, so it's gonna be in between these edges, and I think it's gonna be fine. Cool. This one should be moved a little bit deeper, so GY and move it a little bit. There's gonna be opening in here. So we have a bit more space for this to kind of rotate upwards. And then what we need some kind of, rotation here. I mean, the opening for rotation, and maybe some kind of a chamfer here for this one, yeah? So again, we need some guides in here. Then we're gonna mirror this to the other side with Mesh Machine. Grab this edge here and create a chamfer, and I think it's gonna be all right. And I'm gonna move it a little bit deeper. So let's go here and grab these 2 and GY and move it a little bit deeper, and then clean it with with HardOps and mirrored it obviously, and we're looking pretty good. Now we could have some additional shapes added to it. So for example, here on the top, let me just draw a square cut here, and we're gonna run a knife cut. So let's go with K and slice it. And wait, I was on the mirror part, my bad. Let me just apply the modifiers here. So smart apply. Let's run a cut here. Let's just move this a little bit here and then cut it, right? And we're going to, I think, insert it. So let's select all these and, you know, Alt and macro. So we're gonna pop it inside, kind of like an insert. In fact, we could just grab the whole thing. So let's try this. Right, and we could just, you know, round this one up here. There we go. And let's just put some weighted normals, and we might have some shading problems here and there, but honestly it kind of looks all right. We could have some corners here, but we're gonna get cock blocked by this, you know, line here. So we could just kind of gently move it down a little bit and then try to bevel this in here and mirror to the other side, and that looks pretty cool. Okay, and then obviously mirror to the other side as well. Now the middle part here is a bit boring, so we could do something, you know, something with it. Maybe run some cut here, and maybe, you know, maybe we could elevate this, or we could Alt and macro outside and create something like this, and maybe round these corners here to follow the design, right? So round them up here, and maybe we could round up these corners. So let's remove these two edges because they're going to be causing issues. So let's just Control X this, and this is mirrored, so we're gonna be fine. So now we can just, you know, run a boolean bevel here and also bevel on top of this, so it's gonna have the same kind of a size to it. See, now it's a bit more round and kind of follows the bevels on the entire shape. You could have a bevel here as well, it's gonna be a bit more rounded. Then we could recalculate sharpen, which is gonna remove sharp edges here. I'm gonna remove this nasty highlight here, you see that? So if I recalculate sharpen with Control click on sharpen, is going to remove sharp edges from the areas we don't need them. Same here, it's gonna make this a bit smoother here, you see that? This kind of a nasty ridge here. This is caused by a sharp edge, so we can recalculate it by Control clicking on sharpen. Very good tool. And I think we're good to go. What we could also do is add a bit more of a detail here. We could just create, you know, kind of like a cut here. So I could do it with a knife as well and just, you know, pop it in, right? And then maybe, you know, bevel these, and then simply operations in clean mesh, and then mirror to the other side and Bob's your uncle, right? And I think we're good. And just to maybe create kind of like a connection between these two elements, we could have some cuts here on sides, and maybe with some kind of like a, you know, something in the middle. So let's just cut this here. Okay, and I'm going to actually bevel these. So select all the edges and just gently bevel this. Maybe I think 5 is fine, I suppose. Okay, that's good. And what we could do is run a, you know, run a pipe here. So let's just apply this, and let's grab this edge here, Shift D, and move it here in the middle. And we're going to scale it a little bit, so SY, and scale it just a bit. And then Alt D. If you press Alt D, you're gonna be able to extrude an edge or 2 points from an edge instead of, let me show you, right? If I'm gonna have this edge here, right, and I went Shift D, right, it's going to duplicate it. Okay, If I'm gonna press E for extrusion, I'm gonna get a face. But if you press Alt D, you're gonna get this, which is really cool for creating, you know, kind of like a base for the pipes. So let me just go back here, and we're going to round these up, right? So Shift Control B, okay. And I'm going to run a pipe on it. So let's just let's go here and curve extract, create a pipe, press S, and you're good to go. And just drop it down. And peachy, right? How are we looking? Yeah, we're looking pretty good. It's a little bit too thick, so let's make this a bit, you know, a bit thinner, okay? So it kind of fits, maybe a bit longer. And there you go. Let's see this. We got a little bit of a nasty transition here, but what we could do is just, you know, kind of ease it off like this, and it's gonna be fine. We could also have some chamfers here, to be honest. Going in like that, it's gonna be a bit more interesting, and maybe even some chamfer here, you know. This could also be kind of cool, I think. Maybe. Or maybe a bevel. Let me see this. Yeah, maybe a bevel is better. Let's mirror this, and maybe even pop some bevel in here, so it's gonna be consistent with all the bevels, right? Wait a minute, what is this? Let me just select this and nuke this. There we go. And then select this one and nuke it as well. There we go. And this one is for the mirror, so it's a gizmo for the mirror. It's actually a really cool thing in HardOps and Boxcutter when you have this empty for mirror, because you can adjust it after you run the mirror, so you can just do stuff like this, which is pretty cool, right? So you could manipulate with your shape after you run the mirror, thanks to the fact that you have an empty. So it's a really cool tool. If you're interested in learning how to use HardOps and Boxcutter and all these add-ons effectively, then grab our course, The Ultimate Guide to HardOps and Boxcutter, because you know, it's a fantastic course. And it will teach you all the menus, all the tools, all this nonsense here, you know, how to use it. And it makes it, you know, all simple and easy to understand. And also in this course, I'm going to show you how to develop your own workflow that's going to be basically perfect for whatever you need and these add-ons for. But all in all, if you master these add-ons, you're going to be able to do not only stuff that you cannot do in vanilla Blender, but also work about 8 times faster, which is just insane. Well, anyway, the links to the course are in the video description. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.